Welcome, friends. We're back again here with Realtor Jeet. And today we have a special guest. His name is Jeremias JMan Maneiro. He is JMan Speaks Seminar. I'm going to bring him up soon. He is a realtor in New York, also a national speaker and instructor for real estate agents. On my pages, you've seen me introduce him as someone who is on a mission to help people get out of their comfort zone and get out of their own head so that they can succeed and be the best possible them that they can be. So I'm going to bring him up soon. He's coming up. Here he is.
Yeah, I made it. I'm here.
Welcome, Jeremias. Welcome to Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet. Jaw means tea for anybody who doesn't know. So it's like chai tea latte means tea latte.
So latte from my aunt. Titi, Titi, you got latte. Yeah. Okay.
So thank you for joining us today. And
pleasure.
Yeah, it's an honor for you to be here. I met you in our meetings in Albany, and you did a wonderful seminar on technology that day. And then he had us dancing. And that was really great. So please introduce yourself.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Jeremias JMan Maneiro with JMan Speaks. I am an international speaker, but I'm also a real estate agent going on 17 years now. And like was said earlier, I do more than speak on technology. I'm more of somebody who wants to help you step outside your comfort zone, do epic stuff, and achieve your fullest potential. Normally, I don't say stuff, but I don't know if we're PG or PG. Do epic stuff.
Yeah, you could say epic.
Yeah.
However you want to talk, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids are not here today. I dropped them at mom's house.
All right, we're safe then. Let's go. Let's go.
Normally I have the baby in the background, but lately she's in her own like little temperament right now, and she's exploring her limits. So
that doesn't stop. That won't stop.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time for you to go to grandma's when I do these. And so,
I'm still exploring my limits, so it's normal.
We all are. All of us are. That's awesome. So you also are a national speaker and trainer. So what is it that you do? How do you help people get out of their own head?
Well, it's like so many things that you go to, trainings, lectures, seminars, CE, whatever you want to call it. You get good information. Yeah, everybody should get something, at least one thing out of everything you attend, regardless of how skilled you are and whatever that is. But what keeps most people from applying what they learn is them, right? They're holding themselves back, and they're not doing what they need to do. I've been talking about video for 10 years or greater, saying you got to do video, you got to do video. And people will leave there and go, yes, I got to do video. And then they go back home and it's like, they don't do anything because, they think they don't like how they look. They don't like how they sound. They don't have the right equipment. They don't know what to say. They make all these imaginary excuses in their mind of why they can't do things. Like we were talking before we started, like, oh, I'm not a runner. If you're not a runner, then you're not a runner because that's what you think. You got to, switch that mindset and say, I'm not a runner, but if a bear was chasing me, you bet I'm going to beat you in a race. Right? It's all about motivation. It's like, if I, when you start thinking about the mindset and why you do what you do and say, okay, I'm not going to do video because it connects me. Yeah, it does connect me better with my clients, but maybe I'm going to do video because it's going to help me give my children everything that they want in life. You start getting like that deep into it, man, there's nothing that's going to stop me.
That is a beautiful perspective. Like you got the bear running after you, and now you've got something that you're leaving behind for your children. And
that's right.
And that's so much more important than how I look or how we look. And that's something that used to stop me. So I started in 2017, my career in real estate. And I knew that technology would be the way that I would go with this career. And I started learning through door knocking in the traditional way and everything. That was fine. At the same time, I wanted to learn how to do all this other stuff that we do.
All the stuff.
And so I started my YouTube. I opened this up in 2017 and I did nothing with it. So it was just hair. I'm probably frozen right now because I see
No, I
what
can.
you before. Oh, okay.
I got
So
you.
so I just had this YouTube channel and I did nothing with it. So nothing happened with it. And I started a year and a half during the pandemic. I really started getting into video. And sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I wouldn't because I'm like, oh, my hair is messed up. Oh, my face is messed up. I don't want to do it.
Right. Right.
And one of my coaches, he's going to come on sometime this month as well. I believe either next week or the week after. He said, nobody cares how you look.
Right. It's how you look, right? Get over yourself. Get over yourself.
Yes. And that's what he's like, no one cares how you look. Just do the thing. So my coach, Sekou and Dave Finale, they both said it. That's like, whatever, like just do the video. So the whole year of 2021, I'm doing video and my hair's a hot mess. I look like a hot mess, and it was whatever. And I'm running. So I did a 500, what was it? A 100-mile run for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Nice.
And I'm sweating and running and I'm recording it live. And it's just whatever, because it's that mindset. What's the motivation behind it? So that is awesome. Thank you for that, Jeremias.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my stuff happens after or during my run, because that's when you're like, man, you got them endorphins going. I'm like, listen, guys, my hair's like, whoosh, I got glasses, whatever. It doesn't matter, because it's more important to get the message out.
Yes.
Right. Because I always say, like, perfection is the enemy of progress. Like, if you wait until everything's perfect, it's never going to happen. And the video that you don't make really sucks because it doesn't exist.
That's true. Yeah, that's exactly how my YouTube was. It sucked because there was nothing on there except for like pictures of houses that were listed and sold. And that's something that you spoke on during the seminar. So that's boring. So not a lot of people
Right.
want to see that. So
Like, just listed, just how, it's just like, man, you got to always think that when somebody's watching whatever it is that you're putting out, why should they care?
yeah.
Right. Like if you can answer, like, what's in it for me, if you can show them that you really care about them and their outcome and their life, and you want to make a difference in the world, that's when you're going to connect with people on a human level. Too often we're trying to connect with them from a business perspective. Like, it makes sense to sell your home, make money, tax deduction. How about there's a place that you can call home? How about your kids can come to a place and know that they can depend on this place every single day. They don't have to worry about a landlord kicking them out. They don't have to worry about, calling to make repairs. They have a backyard that they can play in. Like, those are the things. When you start connecting with people on a person to person, on a human level, that's where the real relationships begin, and you'll start making a difference in everything that you're putting out.
That's the experience that they're looking for out of the agent.
Right. Just show me you care. Show me you care first. Not go, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell? Here's my card. And it's like, oh, damn. We were friends until this moment right now where you had to become a salesperson instead of just a human being.
Yes. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for that connection. I totally agree 100%. Because the moment you start saying, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, no one's going to stop at that.
Right. Yeah, I can give you an example. This afternoon, just before this live stream that we're doing right now, I was showing a house to a friend of mine that I've known since middle school.
Okay.
right? And he says to me, "Oh yeah, I want you to make money. I want this to be a good house so you can make some money on it too." And I'm like, "Dan," I'm like, "who cares?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Who cares about me making money? Like, you're gonna buy a house eventually, or you're not. That's not gonna feed my family or make sure we're not gonna starve. Either way, I want to make
Mm.
sure that you're happy." He's like, "Well, you just care about me being," yeah, that's all I care about. Are you going to be happy? And is your mom going to be happy because she's moving in with you? Because I've known your mom since I was 8 years old. So I want you guys to be happy. That's what matters first. If I can make money and like that's part of what I do for a living, that's the bonus, right? That I'm able to do this every day and make a difference in people's lives. Like we have that opportunity, and you have to realize that. Like some of us could do anything in the world. We chose real estate. So celebrate that.
Yes, 100%. We chose real estate. We have so many talents. There's so many real estate agents with they're so talented. They can do so much. They chose real estate for a reason because they are making a difference in other people's lives, and that's the perspective that I feel like a lot of agents should be actually looking into those lenses, is that this is an experience that we're giving someone and helping them find a home to live into, or helping them with their next investment and seeing what, how is that affecting them in their life and their business or their legacy that they would want to leave behind. Um, it's just like what you were talking about, the bear and the children. What is
Well,
the
and
motivation?
yeah, the more like because you're motivated in two ways. Either you're running from fear or you're running towards joy,
Mm,
right? So think of like fear is the bears behind me. Yo, we got to go. Or joy, my kids are at the finish line waiting for me.
yeah.
We're motivated in different ways. You just got to find what motivates you. And motivation's like showering. You got to do it often.
Every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Every day, hopefully, folks, but every once in a while.
It is. It's something that we have to wake up to and remind ourselves every day, and it becomes part of us in our DNA. So what is it that started you in this career and to what you're doing right now, uh, impacting so many, not just buyers and sellers,
Hmm.
but you are impacting so many agents' lives.
Yeah, I think it's when you get down to the root base of everything on why we do things. I think it's because at the end of our life, we want to know that we made a difference in the world, right? Not just, oh, I made money, right? I'm not on my deathbed going, oh, I made a lot of money in my life. I'm happy now. I'm going to die. No, the truth is like I impacted people's lives. I made a difference in the world. And maybe for a little while, maybe I have a legacy that lives on, and my children could carry on that legacy and know that, look, at my dad did everything he could to change people's lives. I'm inspired by that, and I'm going to continue doing that. Like my father taught me, I'm going to teach my kids. And to me, like that's what keeps me going. Because when people contact me and they're like, oh, will you coach me? No, but I'll help you, right? Because sometimes coaches that are, they want to charge you above average amount of money and keep charging you that. That's part of their model. Me, I just want to make sure that you succeed. That's what motivates me, is to see other people succeed. Um, and
That's
just, like you said, step outside your comfort zone and achieve your fullest potential.
that is great. And so you're in New York, all over New York,
Yeah.
and how has this journey been for you from the beginning to now, to where you're at now?
Hmm. It's at times it's a struggle. If anybody who tells you that being a success is easy is lying to your face, right? Anybody that says like, "Yo, man, I was an overnight success. I sold 100 homes in my first year," man, that's BS. I sold 43 houses my first year. But my average sale price was 38,000. Wasn't making a lot of money. And I can tell you, like, I started in 2005. So then 2008, I decided to move companies to another company that had more commission split for me, but also higher fee structure, which isn't the best time when the whole, I couldn't predict that the whole market was going to collapse 2008,
Yeah.
2009. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. Had I not taken no for not being able, not having a choice but to succeed is what I would say. Right? Because there's people that were around in 2007, 2008 that aren't around anymore because they said, this is too hard. This is too hard for me. I got to go knock on doors. I got to call people. This looks too much like work.
It is.
And yeah, it's what it is. But sometimes, I think the people that don't succeed are the ones that think this is a get rich quick. And it's not. Every single person I know that's successful didn't do that overnight and never see themselves as a success. Like somebody could say to me, "Oh, Jay, you're really killing it." I'm like, "Am I?" I never feel that I am. I always feel like no matter what, like I'm never satisfied. There's always another level. And somebody may go, "Oh, wow, you charge a lot for speaking." Well, you weren't there when I would travel the whole state and get paid $150 to teach an RPR class for an hour. I'm talking, I would drive 3 hours and do a 90-minute presentation to get $150 to travel 3 hours back home because I knew this was part of me putting my work in and show, like, I believed enough in myself that I knew eventually people were going to pay me what I was worth. Right? I had to prove it first, but I believed in myself. Real estate's like that. Anything you do is like that. There's going to be times where you got to put the work in. It's an action sport. Sales is an action sport, man. You got to get face to face with people and take care of business, and eventually
It pays
on the
you.
other side of it.
Yeah. It
Yep.
pays you what you're worth. It definitely does. It's like with my good friend Bob Berg and John David Mann. They wrote you are such a go-giver. So they wrote the book The Go-Giver. And that is what happens is when you give like that and then you're open to receiving, you are going to stratospherically succeed. And it's like, what's the next level? Where's the next step then? And I just love that because that's literally like when you reminded me when I just started and I went to my sphere. Like traditionally, you start, telling everybody you're a real estate agent and you start doing all
Right.
the stuff that you learn to do. And a lot of the people that were older than me, like, I mean, a lot older than me, and they would say, "Oh, I used to do that back in the 80s." Used to. Well,
Right.
why don't you do it anymore? Oh, it was just too much. Or, there was a crash in the 80s and in the mid 80s, end of mid to late 80s. So there was that crash. And then a lot of people didn't last that crash. And now same thing happened 2008 and over. They didn't last because it just didn't work for them because they didn't want to put that extra mile in, I guess you would say, to do that. And so your motivation at that time in 2008, what was that when there was a crash?
I've never been really good at failing. I refuse to accept defeat. And I think part of it, growing up, I can tell you, like, I was one of 3 Hispanics in a predominantly suburban school, one of 3 Hispanics at like 1,200 people. And so I think part of that's a chip on my shoulder where I had a principal that said I was most likely to end up in jail. I'd never amount to anything. I should probably pick up a trade because, college isn't for me. All these things where it could have crushed somebody's soul, but
Yeah.
instead I said, "Okay, all right, I'm gonna put that right here on my shoulder." And so every time I hear, "Oh, you say, tell me I can't do something,"
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna show you how I did it.
That's amazing. So that's a part of your motivation next to your children.
Yeah.
And then you're impacting those people's lives that may have gotten their souls crushed throughout
Mhm.
their childhood or even adulthood. I
I mean,
was,
I think it absolutely.
I'm sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
on.
No, I want you to say what you were gonna say.
No, I was gonna
Just
say I was one of the very few Indian people in my community, so
but you you
same,
you understand what it's like to be what I would call what David Goggins, if you ever read his book, Don't Can't Hurt Me, talks about being the only,
the
right?
only.
When you're the only, like I'm one of the only Hispanics in the
Mhm.
suburbs. I'm not Hispanic enough for my white friends, and then I go to the city and I'm not Hispanic enough, or yeah, I'm not Hispanic enough for my Hispanic
Friends.
friends.
Yeah.
So where do I don't fit in anywhere.
Yep.
And I think our whole life, like you said, as children and as teenagers and as you're in college, and then when you start your work, even before real estate, whatever you did, somebody was trying to hold you down. Somebody was trying to say, yo, don't do that because that's not professional and
Mhm.
you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, my whole life, too much energy, couldn't sit still, class clown. Now that's how I make a living. And now that's what my clients are attracted to, who I am, the authentic me. And I think
Authentic.
my whole life, everybody, right? It's like they try to hold me down. I'm like, oh, finally, I could just be who I want to be. And you attract, that old saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. It's so true. Just be who you are. And then people are going to be like, yo, man, I like her. I like her.
That is great. That's I don't even have anything to say after that.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, have a great day.
If you wanted to learn anything today, it's just that. Be authentically you, and you'll do great at whatever you're going to do. And so this is what these Jaw Time with Realtor Jeet is. If I don't know if you've ever watched any of them before. I don't generally do a lot of real estate um,
Great.
videos or talk about real estate. I mean, here and there I will if I have a mortgage lender or an estate attorney, which I'll be having soon in the next few weeks. But mostly it's about what value can I give to the audience that is watching and my tribe, my friends and my family and everyone who is following these all of my pages. It's live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And so yeah. So that's a huge audience that can grasp something and get a value out of something that I'm contributing towards this
Putting
world.
out. Yeah.
And it's not just about, hey, I sold this house or I sold that house, because of course we all know we can do that. That's our job.
Right.
Our job is to do that. What are we giving out in value, and how authentically are we giving it out in value? My friend Catherine, she said 100 miles for St. Jude's. That's what we were running for.
She forgot after the first 50 miles. She was like, I'm running somewhere. Yeah. That's
um,
good. That's great. Great benefit.
it is, and that's so cool because that's what it is. Just be authentically you and give the value of what you can give out, and that's just by being you. And I know that's definitely what you've done over when I saw you live, and then just throughout these past couple few weeks that we've been getting to know each other, and you've been helping me with my website and all of my other stuff, that my logistics or systems, and
I
I'm
was a
just
bot. I was doing the robot.
Autobots. There we go. But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that? If somebody here is watching, no, okay, awesome.
I mean, we got cool messenger bots. Hit me up if you want to know. It's the future of
Really?
permission-based marketing. But
Mhm.
I think I like the you're on a roll here with what you're talking about. If
Yeah.
somebody's watching and you're thinking about doing video or you're thinking of putting yourself out there, it's a vulnerable place, right?
Yeah.
What we're doing right now, sharing ourselves with you, that puts you in a vulnerable spot. And I think sometimes people suffer what we would call imposter syndrome, right? Where they're like, who would want to hear from me? I don't have anything to share. I think that's bullshit. Okay. It's like, why not you? I think your biggest fear should be that you leave this earth and you don't share who you really are with the world. You're robbing the world of your presence. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, I wanted to do this, or I was thinking about doing, just do the damn thing. Stop worrying about what might happen and think of all the amazing things that can, because there is somebody waiting to hear your message and what you have to say. You are good enough. We believe in you.
Yeah. You have something to say. You have a story that will relate to someone.
Listen up, I got a story to tell.
And that's what people come for. People come for the stories. They come to listen to you for the stories. They're either watching, they could quietly watch, and they're like, wow, I want to be like this. Or I wish I could do this. And then they're like, how can I do this? Just do
You
what
can.
Jeremiah's just said. Just get up and do the thing. And get over your own head. And once you start, it can be hard. It's not easy, especially for someone who is shy or very self-conscious. It could be like, this is the most hardest thing I've done, is get in front of a camera and talk. But if you did it, then that's the perfect video that you've made, because you've done it. I think you mentioned that earlier. The only video that really sucks is the video that you didn't do.
The one that's in your head, you're like, I got this great idea. Nobody else knows about it. Share it with the world, right? Because there is somebody right now waiting to hear the message that you have yet to speak, and you're going to change their life. So stop sitting on it.
Most definitely. You just reminded me of a story that just recently happened. So one of my partners, she's really, really camera shy and very self-conscious. Well, like, she's just like, I don't want to. I'm afraid of getting in front of the camera. And I'm like, you got to do it. Just do it. So she did an awesome video on Instagram where, so I don't know if it's a real estate agent thing or a realtor thing. We fall a lot.
Huh. Yeah.
um, we can walk. Either we're falling downstairs or we're falling in a pothole or something, or tripping over our heels. And so she got hurt. She didn't get hurt. She fell. No, she did get hurt, and she ends up in a cast or something. And she makes this awesome video. Like, I need to put myself in a bubble wrap when I go show houses.
Oh man. So she fall on the showing, like during the showing?
I think it was, yeah, I think it was during the showing.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
loved it. And my other partner, she goes, Tina, put a video up. Look at it. The first video she ever puts up is a relatable video of what happens to us on a day-to-day basis. And she's like,
Yeah.
if you're anything like me, just go out there and wrap yourself in a bubble wrap, then walk out the house.
Yeah, I mean, we're all human and we all make mistakes, right? What's so great about that is how imperfect it is. That's why people are going to relate to it,
Yeah.
because we're all perfect.
And I think that was the perfect video because it was in her head and she took it out and she put it out there. So I really loved that. And that's, I think we have, yeah, there we go. Kat's got it. Team Klutz. We flip to sell your house.
I love it. I love it.
So that literally we'll be walking. It's either we're in a pair. So one of us, whenever we're walking, we're holding each other's arm. If we're on our phone, like texting a client or on the phone with a client, because we know we're gonna trip over something. Especially with me with my heels.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that tip.
I'm gonna back up. My head looks really big in this. Like this. Hello.
Yes,
Wow.
I need something like that because I feel like my head looks big. But then again,
Well,
I
you,
don't care.
I mean, maybe you have a big head, right? I mean, it's just somebody said to me like, "Nah, man, do these pants make my butt look fat?" No, COVID made your butt look fat. Like, it's not the pants. It's sitting home and doing nothing and eating for 2 years. That'll do it.
That'll do.
Like,
I did. I gained some weight. So
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, people in
no,
general.
I'm
It's just,
saying I did. I actually did. I gained 20 pounds. So I'm like, gosh.
well, it's better to cushion your fall. Like next time you fall, it's gonna hurt less. If you were bonier, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I broke my arm, but now it's better. You'll be safer.
Yeah, my bubble. Oh, that is awesome. So, what other tips would you give somebody that is still thinking in their head or trying to get out of? So it's not necessarily them. Yes, it's them blocking their own self, but
Yeah.
behind that own self there are other things like trauma or
Hmm.
past history, like you said, if soul crushing words that they've grown up with that has made a huge mountain in front of them. Like, what are little steps that they can get out of getting rid of that mountain or chipping away?
Oh man, that's going to be a longer discussion, but I would say some of you may not even realize it, right? The trauma that you experience, because there are moments in our life that have made us who we are today, right? We're all a collection of these moments in our lifetime. We can look at different pivotal, man, when I was 10, this happened, and then threw me for a loop over here. So
Yeah.
it's like, maybe you need to get counseling. You don't know it. You're nobody's above getting help. No, if you're a man watching this, we're not, I don't need help, I'm a man. That's ridiculous. That is the most, just, we don't always need a hand out, but sometimes it's a hand up, right? And just somebody saying, hey, I'm here for you. It doesn't have to be like a psychologist or somebody. Say, look, I I endured what you went through. I understand exactly how you feel. Here's how I overcame that. Right. I didn't let those people who said I would never be something or amount to anything live rent free in my brain. Right. I didn't let them, you know, totally ruin my life. Instead, I took it and I said, this is going to be a motivator for me so that when I do succeed, I'm going to show them. And so I think it's maybe find somebody that's been through similar trauma or experiences, like, man, the pandemic has been tough on a lot of people. We've been through 9/11, we've been through the crashes, and we've been through so much in our lifetime. If you're my age or younger or older, there's so many things that we've been through. And just keep in mind, like, we made it through.
Yeah.
100% of everything we've ever been through. If you're here watching this, listening to this right now, you've made it and you'll make it through. You just have to keep going.
Giving a hand up. There you go. And you'll make through it. You'll make it. It's the journey that brought us to where we are today. Thank you for that, Jeremias. We're heading to the half-hour mark. Well, we
This
passed
message has been brought to you by.
No, I do. I I want to respect your time, and I know you've had a really, really busy week and schedule this week, and that is
Yeah, I mean, none of that matters.
no
I'm
that.
here, right? I'm here because that's important to mention
Mhm.
that regardless of everything else, we all have busy lives.
Yeah,
But wherever you are, be there, be present in that moment. Like, do I have a ton of things to do after this? Yeah, but I'm here now.
yeah,
What's happening now is what's most important. Not that I got to counter an offer or I got to go do this or I got to run and show this. I got to change this lockbox. None of that matters. That's going to be there when I'm done with this.
yeah.
So I'm here right now with you in this moment and whoever else is watching this. So, like, none of that matters. We're here. We're
That's
present.
JMan cares. He cares for you.
I do. I really do. Don't tell anybody, guys. You're gonna ruin my image. I'm really a tough guy.
But that's awesome. Being present, and I love that. Being present in the here, the now, and moving forward to who's the next person you can impact and help. And even that, if that next person is yourself, is just
Hmm.
by looking for the next person that may be able to help you. You have to be open to receive help as well
Very
in order
true.
to give it. So, yeah, that is awesome. And I love talking to you. I love getting help from you.
Thanks.
It's such a
I like talking
like.
to you too.
I'm so glad that I could call you my friend now. I think I could call you my friend weeks ago.
Wait a second. Hold up. Yeah, no, you can for sure. I think being present of if I think that's something that those of us who are in real estate, or just those of us who are of our generation, and we talked about this before we started, like we're overscheduled. We have so
Yeah,
much to do all the time, and sometimes we don't have enough calendar space to do it. But I think while the work-life balance sometimes seems unattainable, when try to schedule my personal stuff first, and then I schedule my business stuff around it. And when I'm doing my whether I'm going to my son's, you know, soccer game or whatever it is, right? I'm not there on my phone trying to negotiate a deal. I'm
mhm,
not. I'm going to be there, right? So wherever you are, like that present means that you're there in the moment, not this. Don't live your world through this,
yeah.
right? That's so annoying when you're at a game and all the parents are like, "Oh my god, little Timmy," right? And it's like, put that down. And you remember when we just had these, and they're like, "How are you recording it?"
Through my eyes.
Through my eyeballs into my brain. It's called a memory. Okay, I don't need to look like, and I love video, and I got a great phone. I don't have to experience everything through that.
Mhm,
But be there and you know, go, keep it go 100, and everything, whether it's personal, whether it's business, whether
yeah,
it's fitness related. Uh, you got to kind of mind, body, soul. It's all important, because if your personal life isn't happy, then your work will suffer. If your work life isn't happy, then your personal life suffers. And if you're not healthy, you can't do any of
either
those.
one of those. Yep. So all of that, that whole circle, every piece of that circle matters. And you just reminded me of, so my son is going to turn 18 in April.
April
Yeah,
what? April what?
April 23rd. Think about
Oh, nice. My wife and I both have the same birthday, April 11th.
April 11th. Oh, early happy birthday. Um,
Thank you.
my pleasure. And that's so cool. Your wife and you have the same exact birthday. My
Yeah.
mother-in-law and my mom have the same exact birthday, and it's June 11th.
Okay.
11 is a good number.
Yeah. My firstborn is 11/11, and then my second born is 11/30.
Oh,
So
11, 11, and 11:30.
11's our lucky number.
They are. My sister's 11/21.
Okay.
And yeah. So, but yeah, he's turning 18 in April. And what you just reminded me, he used to be on the football team in elementary school. And we had iPhones back then and stuff. But still, when we would sit
You
down
sure?
and yeah, like back then.
You had a flip phone. Keep it real.
Yeah, like what? He was in elementary school. No, you're right. I don't think there was an iPhone back then.
You had a
I don't think I had.
BlackBerry.
I think I had the BlackBerry or the Android. Yeah, I'm dating myself. Watching his game, the point is watching his game. I like when you just mentioned your son's game, and in my head, I just pictured his game and him running around the field. And I didn't need to look it up on a phone to see that video because it's literally like right here. And I saw his little self running around with his helmet. And that's the most powerful video recorder we do have is our own sensors.
Well, and it's those moments that your children will remember forever, because like they
Yep.
know how hard mom is working, they know how hard his dad is working, but he was there, she was there, for her. I can remember I played football, wrestling, soccer, like all the sports, and I would win like a tournament. First thing I would do is like, my parents here,
Parents, yep.
right? Where are they at? And so they're gonna remember that forever.
Yep. Every kid is looking up and they're looking like, "Where's my mom
We
there?"
won. We won. I don't know if you saw it, like the video in the Super Bowl. When they won the Super Bowl, one of the receivers was running all over the field, and he ran to hug his mom.
Oh,
And
nice.
like, this is a grown man who's like, "Mom, we did it. We did it." I was like, "Oh my God, Mom, he's talking to Mom. It's so nice." Like, just to,
That is
be there
sweet.
and share that. It was so nice.
It is. That's the sweetest thing. I do it too. If my mom calls, I'm like, oh yeah, my mom's calling me. I gotta get this call because it's my mom.
Yeah, I'm shoot.
Nobody
Yeah, I'm
trumps
a mom.
mom.
My mom cuts my hair, so I got a fresh cut all the time. You'll see her in my stories all the time when I'm getting a haircut, and she's like, "I hit him. Yeah, stop with all that video stuff." I'm like, "Mom, but people want to see you, girl." It's
I
like,
gotta do that to my mom. She hems my so I'm 5 feet. I'm pretty short.
you are, yeah. My mom's 4'11 and a half, so she's right there with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty
Gotta
sure. I
be.
wore heels when you saw me. You're like, really?
I was like, "You're at least 5'3". I mean, jeez.
And so any pant, like, so when I get my pants, most of them need to get hemmed. And I don't do the sewing, I don't do hemming or anything. And I'm like, Mom, here you go. And she does it like she's been doing it since I was what, 13, 14 years old. So she's like, she just still gets so happy when she's doing something for us. And that's like the most, it's such a blessing to have and to see, like, that's the presence that we're talking about.
Right, right. And it's like during the pandemic, if you didn't learn anything, it was the importance of family and being there,
Mhm.
and how we appreciate this time together, because you just never know, right? Our kids aren't going to remember that, "Oh, we couldn't go to school and we were locked in the house and we had to do virtual school." What they're going to remember is like, my parents were there all the time. They had to play board games with us. We had to, like, all this quality time that wouldn't have existed had the pandemic not happened. So look at the positive things, right? We get to get up in the morning. We get to be able to run, even if you hate it, or even if you're just walking. You get to walk. You get to pay taxes, right? Oh, I got to pay so much taxes. You get to pay taxes. Guess who doesn't? Poor people who don't make any money. So be happy about that. I got to fill up my tank today with $4.07 per gallon, but I have a car to put it in, and I can afford to put the gas in my car, right? So when you really flip the script and think, I have all these great opportunities, I get to do something, I get to go to work, every day I get to make a living, I get to change people's lives, I get to drive a car, I get to pay taxes, I get. Then you go, I am blessed. Stop complaining.
That I get to mentality. I love it. I hear it all the time. I say it all the time. I say it to my kids. In the morning, I'll tell them, I drop them off to school and I'll say, tell me 5 things that you're grateful for just on this ride. What are you looking at? And so, yet, when was it? 2 days ago? Well, no, today's Tuesday. So, Monday, yeah, yesterday. My daughter's like, it's a beautiful morning. Look at the sun rising. I'm like, oh, I accomplished something. Every day I ask them, I'll ask, what do you see? And they don't give me an answer.
Yeah. So great.
Too early for this, Mom.
Yeah, that's I get that. Yeah. I'm like, it's terrific Tuesday, everybody. Are you guys ready to go to school? They're like, Dad, relax.
Yeah.
So happy all the time.
They're like, yeah, they got their headphones on and they don't want to hear you. But then that one time it actually penetrates through their head. It's like, whoa, I just accomplished something.
Right.
And it's that
Well,
persistence.
and they're always watching.
Yeah.
Right. They're always watching. And so it's like, you just keep on doing all the things that you're doing, trying to make a difference in the world. You may not know all the lives that you're touching all the time until moments like that, right? Where your child goes, "What a beautiful day, Mom. Look at the sunrise."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're
And
just driving like
yeah. In my head, I'm like jumping up and down. I'm like, yeah, it really is. You're right.
"Stay cool. Stay cool, Mom. Stay cool."
That's awesome. And she's 16. So I have a 16, a 17, and a 4-year-old. And they are all watching. They're all watching. Like they had their different moments of what they've seen throughout their life. So they
Right.
see growth and like just watching the baby. Like right now, I'm like, I cannot keep her home if I'm doing a call because 5 minutes in, she would have been smacking me with this. So,
Magic wand, Mama.
put my show on, put my show on. That's literally what she would be doing. So yeah, I need to focus and not turn around.
I
And
understand.
yeah, but it's beautiful. They're watching, they're listening to the people around you just as much they're listening to what you're doing and speaking. So they're seeing what your circle looks like as well. And I think that's so important for so many people to realize, especially if you're a parent, to see who is your circle and who are you bringing around your kids.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you for that perspective.
I have so many.
You do.
My mind is quite active. Well, and I think part of what we both enjoy when it comes to like video and stuff like that is like creating something,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes it's like you have this really when they say creator, it's like we had this idea in our head and then we made it happen. And I was having that conversation with my oldest son who's 11. He does live stream video with me all the time. And we both said that like yesterday this didn't exist. It was just a concept. It's an
No.
idea we had in our head and now it's out there in the world. And now he's designing t-shirts to have his own merch to
Uh-huh.
put up the website. Yeah, so like he's designing it on his phone and all this good stuff, and 100% of the proceeds will go to him and whatever he wants to do with that. It's just
That is
encourage
amazing.
that creativity because I think schools don't encourage it as much as they should. Right? They
No.
teach our kids to be employees rather than creative thinkers that could be anything they want in life.
Yeah, you're absolutely. That's a whole other discussion of what schools do, or at least change the system. Um, I took this thing that's called a Colby test, and my good friend Kathy Tagenall, she's a Colby coach, and what it tells you is how you act or how you are in a space where you're free to work as yourself. And so something with me is like I need something to move around as well. Like I'll if I'm studying or I'm looking at a lecture or something, I'll start drawing because
Yeah,
like my mind will start wandering all over the place. So in order to keep listening to what I'm listening to, I've got to like move my hands. So normally, if I was at school or something, I'd just scribble. And Kathy, I went to a mastermind in January. She gives me this light up ball, and she's like, "You could pick up this or those fidgets, those light up fidgets. They're called, I think."
yeah.
And I picked the light up ball because I'm a kid. Then I'm like moving the ball around and bouncing it up like back and forth on my table and thinking, gosh, if I had to ever learn like this in school, probably get yelled at by the teacher.
Right.
And that's something to think about. Like, we can't be our creative selves. There you go. Look, you're the
I've
same.
been I've been fidgeting the whole time.
So that's what it is. It's like it, if anything, the schools could change is like learning what type of learners each student is, because that's how you can, if you really want to make an impact, that's how you can really make an impact just within the school system itself. If there's any teachers out there listening, think about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, and I don't get too deep into it, but it's like, and college isn't for everybody, right?
Mhm.
I was on an orientation that I was running yesterday. There's an 18-year-old kid, newly licensed in real estate.
Mm.
He knew what he wanted to do from when he said from elementary school, he knew. And now he's a licensee in Manhattan, and he's going to do his thing. What would 4 years of college have helped him to do what he does? Now, think of the 4 years of experience, the education, the expertise that he's going to gain without leaving 4 years with, all the student debt and everything, teaching you something that's already outdated by the time you graduate for a job that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that was me. I did it. I did I did the time. One thing I can say it did help me with is it's to multitask, read multiple subjects and learn it all at once. You know, there's always
Okay.
something we could take out of, you
All
know?
right.
And without and now this kid, he's actually studying what he's doing just by taking the action on doing the thing that he wants to do. And
Right.
it's saving him 4 years. Like those 4 years, if I could take anything out of the 4 years that I went to, it's that. But it didn't teach me how to be a business owner. It didn't teach me how to. Yeah, I'm still paying my debt. So
So yeah, I mean, you pay tens of thousands of dollars or 100,000, I don't
learn to
know,
multitask.
to learn to multitask. Pretty sure you could have hopped on YouTube for that and been good to go. Just pay me the money and I'll show you the videos you should watch. Here you go. Here you go.
Listen, I got to take something good out of anything I do.
Yes. No, well, it made you who you are today, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
we got to go through things to realize that it wasn't for me, right? I did a trade. I did tooling and machining. I'm like, yo, I cannot do this for my whole life.
Yeah.
There's no way. And I think there's generational differences there where my dad, he's a boomer, on the cusp between boomer and silent generation. They got a job. They worked that job whether they liked it or not because they had to take care of their family, right?
Yeah.
They would grind it out for 30 years, get a pension, and retire. And that's just what you did. Uh, we're more about being happy. We'd rather work, the studies show that millennials and younger would prefer to make 40K a year at a job they love than 100K at a job they hate. So
Yeah.
if you're watching this and you have a job that you hate, quit now while you can and go get another job, because the great resignation happened last year. So there are many openings for qualified people and you could work just about anywhere in the world now. People are open. Now if there's any time in the history of employment, this is the time to get your dream job, right?
Mm.
I'm working for a company in Manhattan from upstate New York. That never would have happened 3 years ago.
Yeah. The technology that opened up during the pandemic opened up so much opportunity. I have an organization in India just because of what technology allows us. So it's
Right.
like,
I mean, think about, it's so mind blowing to think 20 years ago, how impossible that would, 10 years ago, how impossible that would have been. And if you look like 10 years forward, we're going to be going to India in the metaverse to your office there and going, oh, yeah, Realtor Jeet, meet me over at the office. Which one? Let's go to Dubai today. We're going to go to the sandbox in Dubai, like the area of the metaverse called the sandbox. And here's your office. We walk in. Hey, hello.
well,
And this
I'm
is,
actually already doing that. So
see, I get right, exactly. But I'm saying it's going to be more
it's
mainstream, where like we're
it's
going to have houses there. There's people listing properties
in the metaverse and just showing it and the virtual the Oculus.
Yeah. I mean, NFTs tied to real properties. There's a property in Miami that's being built, and simultaneously they're building it exact replica in the metaverse, and it's going to be tied in with the sale.
That's insane.
Right? It's going to be like that guy who may not be so cool in the real world. Yo, in the metaverse, he's Papa Giorgio. He's got the crib laid out. He's got a Lambo. He's got respect the drip in the meta. I got everything. See, it's going to be a different world.
And that's the future. That is the future. You've just, and I love that. You know what? We're gonna stop at that. Jeremiah just predicted the future. You hear Gary Vee say this all the time.
Well, yeah, and he's heavily invested in it, so he's, hey, be my V friend, invest in this, and then he's got an NFT tied to it. He gets a percentage of every transfer of that. Oh man, the guy is so smart.
It is, and this is how, like, I know that there's houses and real estate property being sold through cryptocurrency now. And then just what you described, going into the metaverse and building an NFT tied to a sale of a house is just, that is going to be the future. And we could choose to ignore it, be one of those that choose to ignore it and live.
Or embrace it with open arms.
Yep. So it's one or the other. And we see this circle all the time. People did not believe in Microsoft or Apple at one point.
Non-believers.
Was there something you wanted to say?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
I forgot.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, I had it. And then it went pew.
Oh, like, I apologize.
Squirrel. No, it's all good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking this hour with me and with Team Jeet.
Team Jeet.
It was a pleasure. Would you like? I'd love to ask my ghosts.
Your greatest of all times.
My guests to close, because it's just an honor to have anybody who does come up here and speak for the time that they do speak.
Oh, you want me to close it out?
Yes.
All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jeremias JMan Maneiro. JMan Speaks. We must do the things today that others won't do so that tomorrow we can have what others won't have. So make it a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for having me today. And go out there and do something that scares you and change somebody's life.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for joining Jaw with Realtor Jeet today. And everyone have a wonderful day.